Hello everyone, and welcome on back to another video here on my channel. Thank you so much for joining me on today's video. For all of my returning subscribers, thank you as always for coming back and supporting. You know it means the world to me. And if this happens to be your first time stopping by, hello, let me introduce myself. My name is Monet. I am 27 years old, and here on this channel I am dedicated to getting my finances together. I utilize the cash envelope method, and I have been consistent with this system for the past 3 years, going on 4 years, which is just crazy to think about. And I have used this system to manage my finances, save, and eliminate debt in a way that I never thought was possible. So if that sounds like something you would also enjoy, something you want to learn about, then be sure to hit that subscribe button down below and join the family. And don't forget to hit the bell so that you're notified whenever I upload my next video. So getting into today's video, it is going to be the first cash envelope stuffing of 2024, which I am so excited for. I feel like it took forever to get here, but here we go. Starting off 2024. So looking at my calendar, I did get paid today, which is January 12th, and we are just going to budget those funds and tell the money exactly where to go. So if that's something you're interested in seeing, then just keep on watching. All right, so here we are back with the paycheck breakdown sheet. For reference, if you aren't aware, all of the sheets that you see me use, they are available within my budget kit. I print them out each month and I have them available on my website and my Etsy. So the link for that is down in the description below. I give a whole kit with the calendar, paychecks, expense trackers, weekly check-ins, a monthly budget, a debt tracker, a sinking funds tracker. So literally everything you see me use, it is available. So be sure to check that out if that's something that you're interested in. But here we see I already filled out the paper and we are working with, of course, paycheck number 1. So as I said, I got paid on January 12th, so that's the date. The income source is from my full-time job. And getting into the amount for this paycheck, it is going to be $2,156 that we are budgeting today. So I'm just gonna go ahead and write that down at the bottom for the total, $2,156. All right, so here we go. Starting off with expenses, the due date I put to the side, and this is going to be rent that will be due on February 1st. And then this is going to be the first portion of the payment for my rent. Given that now my finances are a little bit different than usual and I'm trying to save more than usual, I'm no longer able to split my rent evenly across each paycheck, but I'm able to put a portion of my rent with each paycheck. So in total, I always budget my rent to be $1,700, so I normally put $850 and $850 with each paycheck. But now with paycheck number 1, we're gonna put aside $880, and then the rest we will make up with paycheck number 2. All right, so moving on, the next expense that I have a due date for is going to be my internet. I pay that on January 15th, and that's a total of $56 for that bill. It's a fixed expense, so it's always $56. And then the last expense I have is gas. This is gas for my car. And for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to add $35. And I put gas in my expense column just because I get my gas typically from Costco, so they don't take cash. So it's just easier for me to keep my gas amount on my debit card. And also, just to clarify, people think my gas for 2 weeks is $35. That is not the case. Typically, it does only cost me $30 to fill up my tank because I have a very small compact car, but I treat my gas the same way I treat my variable expense spending that I have within my cash dividers, meaning that the balance is always rolling over, it's always being added. So I just add $35 each week, but that's not just what I have for gas for 2 weeks. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm just trying to answer common questions that people may be confused on. All right, so in terms of expenses in this column, that's everything that I'm going to pay for this paycheck. So for these 3 things, that gives us $971 for expenses. Now we move on to the cash portion, which is of course the things I take out for cash. This is my variable spending, and these are the cash dividers that I keep within my wallet. So this paycheck, I'm gonna give myself $100 for spending. Groceries is going to get $150. Toiletries will receive $50. Clothing is also getting $50. And eating out is going to get $35. So that's everything for that column. And that gives us a total of $385. Next, we can move into my sinking funds. First sinking fund up is annual payments, and this is going to be $40. At the start of the year, my annual payments have to be a little bit more just to anticipate me paying for more things at the start of the year versus the end of the year. So right now they'll be 40, but I think in like May or June, I bring it down to 20. Car maintenance is going to get $20 for this paycheck. Car insurance is going to get $35. Christmas is getting $20. Gifts is getting $10. Household is budgeted at $50. Medical is getting $5 and travel getting $150. All right, so that's everything for my sinking funds, and that will give us a grand total of $330 for that section. Next, we move along to my savings categories. If you missed it, I am prioritizing my emergency fund. I normally had my emergency fund and my home fund for the two big things that I was saving for, but I want to focus on one, and I'm hoping to have this fully funded by April. And then once April comes, I can bring back my home fund and fully prioritize that. I find it easier sometimes with me just focusing on one versus doing multiple things, and I also like to see progress, and you see progress faster when you just focus on one account, or at least that works best for me. So for this paycheck, emergency fund is going to get $250. And then here we see I have my section for Roth IRA. So if you missed my financial goals update for 2024, I did mention that I want to begin a Roth IRA. So this is going to be our first contribution that we are going to put aside for our Roth IRA, and we are going to start off with $220. So I did share also within my financial goals video that I am utilizing a tracker to help me stay on track with my Roth IRA. The max contribution for 2024 is set at $7,000, and I am trying to max this account out by the end of the year. So I made this little tracker for 52 weeks of how to save $7,000. I do have this available for a printable within my Etsy and my website. So if you also want to participate, you can go ahead and print that out. But since I'm paid bi-weekly, I'm going to be checking off my deposits for 2 weeks at a time. So week 1 was 110 and week 2 was 110. So that's a total of 220 that I should be putting aside for the first 2 weeks. And as we can see, 220 I put aside for my Roth IRA. So I'm gonna go ahead and check these 2 boxes because they are complete. And we are well on our way to saving $7,000, which is just amazing, and I'm excited. And I love a clear plan to tell me how to do it. All right, that will complete everything for my savings category. So if we total both of these up, that is $470 for that section. Here we have debt, but for debt for myself, I am debt-free, thankfully, so I no longer have to worry about that anymore, which is just truly a blessing. And that is completing all of the boxes for the paycheck breakdown. So here I have my total withdrawal. This is how much money I will be taking out of the bank to do our cash stuffing today. So I'm gonna add $385 plus $330 for the sinking funds, and I'm only taking out $250 for the emergency fund. The $220, I'm going to leave that in my account because at the end of each month, I'm going to move that money into my Roth IRA account and then invest into the accounts that I want to. So I see no need for me to take it out since it's just gonna sit in an account anyway. But adding those up, that means I will be withdrawing $965 today for our cash stuffing. So there you go, telling your money exactly what to do, so there is no room for us not to hit our goals. And now that I know exactly what I'm supposed to do, I'm going to head to the bank, get the cash, and when I get back, we'll get started with the cash stuffing. All right, everyone, so here we are back from the bank. Here I have my bank slip, which is also something that I sell within my shop. If you don't know, this I just give to the teller to get my denominations to make it easier. So this is how I broke down my $965. And then the bank bag is where we are holding the cash. So let's go ahead, lay this out and get started. All right, so here we are, all set up and ready to go. Our cash is laid up at the top. Here is the cash binder where I hold my sinking funds and my savings. And then these are the cash dividers for my various spending. We're gonna set the binder to the side as always and get started with the cash dividers. We are once again participating in the dollar challenge this year. So any dollars that I have within my cash dividers, I set them to the side, add them to the jar, and we're gonna count that up at the end of the year. Getting started with spending. I have not been doing really any spending, so these amounts are probably gonna be large, but I do plan on doing quite a few spending this week, so they won't be in here for much long. So spending, we said, is getting $100, and I like to take that out in 20s. So we have 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. And looking at what we have, I do have some singles, so I'll set that to the side. And then adding this to what I have, I like to do the rollover method. So now we have 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, 10. So $210 for spending, right? Up next, we get into groceries. Groceries is getting $150. This is another category where I like to take out in majority 20s. And we do have a very cold front that is coming next week. We're gonna be in the negatives. So I definitely wanna go and stock up on some food for groceries because I do not want to leave this house at all if I do not have to. We do have singles in groceries, so I'm gonna set that to the side. And now as a total, we have 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, 10, 15, 20. So $220 should be more than enough to have me set in terms of stocking up on meats, canned goods, water, anything that I will possibly need so I do not have to leave this house. Up next, we have toiletries. Toiletries is going to get $50. I do my toiletries and my grocery shopping at the same time. Toiletries for me is basically like laundry detergent, toothpaste, deodorant, paper plates, that type of thing. So I'm also going to be stocking up on that. And I have no dollars, so we have nothing to take out for this category. And as a total, we now have 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 30, 35, 40, 45. So $145 for toiletries. That again will most definitely be spent. Next, we get into clothing. Clothing is going to get $50. I gave myself a little bit more for clothing because I did declutter my closet for the new year and I got rid of many things that I just do not wear. And I see that I need to not revamp my closet, but I do need some clothes because the stuff I took out, now my closet is kind of bare. And I also find that I'm now like very minimalistic. So I really want to buy like basics, a lot of basic shirts, a lot of basic pants, things that have longevity because I'm just over the other type of clothing that I had and I just want a whole bunch of basics. So that's kind of what I am saving up for so that I can get a good amount for that. So now within clothing, we have 20, 40, 60, and 70. So $70 for that. If I come across anything, I'll buy something, but I kind of want to build it up so that then I can just buy everything at once. All right, next we get into eating out. Eating out is going to get $35. So I will do 20, 10, and a 5, giving us $35. I have $20 left over, so that's good. That means we didn't spend all of our cash. So now as a total, we have 20, 40, 55. So $55 for eating out for the next 2 weeks. All right, so that will complete all of my cash dividers. I'm gonna go ahead and add them to my wallet. So then I am ready to spend and stay on budget for the next 2 weeks. All right, so now let's go ahead and do our first count for our first installment of dollars. So we have $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6. Not too bad, gotta start somewhere. Bringing back our lovely jar. If I remember, if you missed it, I did upload the video for my savings for 2023. I'll link it in the cards if you are interested to see what we saved. But now we are starting for 2024, adding our dollars, and let's see what we can do this year. All right, and we are also doing the coin challenge yet again. I didn't have enough coins to make a roll, so I put them back in here to be added for this year. So that's what those are. But let's go ahead and add my coins that I have. All right, so that looks like a great start. And we will see what our coins look like at the end of the year. Now that we are done with all of that, we can bring out the binder and get started with adding our sinking funds. So first up, it is annual payments. That's getting $40. So I'm gonna do 2 20s. Adding to what we have, that now puts the envelope with 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, 20, 40, 60, 70, 80. So $280 is now within annual payments. All right, up next we have car maintenance. Car maintenance is getting 20, so we will add our $20 bill. I am in desperate need of a car wash because my car is white and I just cannot stand when it gets dirty, but we've recently had snow and rain and I just didn't want to put it back into the car wash after all that, but I think I'm gonna have to. So now within this envelope we have $1,000 in the bank, so this is just our placeholder to signify that. And then in actual cash we have 20, 40, 60, 80, 85, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94. So $1,094 is the total we have for car maintenance. All right, moving up next, we have car insurance. That's going to get $35. We are saving up for my next 6-month payment. So adding our 35, let's see where that puts us for the envelope. We now have 50, 100, 20, 40, 60, 70, 80, 85, 90, 95. So $195 we now have for car insurance. That is great. We are moving along nicely for that. Next we get into Christmas. Christmas is going to get $20. Adding 20. I still haven't used all of the Christmas money from last year. I'm not seeing my best friend until February, so the Christmas envelope, it is what it is. If anything, I'll probably just let it keep building for this year's Christmas, because this year I'm anticipating to have to buy more gifts than what I did this year, so the extra money won't hurt. But now within Christmas, we have 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, 200, 10, 20. So $220 is in Christmas. All right, moving along, we have gifts. Gifts is getting $10. So adding 10, we now have 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, 100, 10, 20. $120. I do have some upcoming gift things that I'm going to have to be mindful of. In February, that's my dad's birthday. In April, I am going to a wedding, and the wedding is a destination wedding, so I'm gonna have to, buy a gift for the wedding. And then I have Mother's Day, Father's Day, those holidays, they come quick at the start of the year, so definitely gonna be mindful with the gifts envelope and making sure that I can budget correctly, because things can get pricey out of nowhere. All right, so moving on from gifts, we have household. Household is getting $50, so I'm just gonna do a $50 bill. And I bumped up household because, you know, when it's the start of the new year and you declutter and you get rid of things, I, see some things I want to organize and do better. And I've been saying that since 2023. I'm still continuing to do that in 2024. But yeah, household and organizing and making my space comfortable for me is a priority for me. But I'm also a big believer in doing things slowly and on a budget. So I will gradually fill up my household envelope and pick up things as I see fit. So now in household, we have 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, 20, 40, 60, 70, 80, 90. So we have $290 for household, not too bad. All right, after household, we get into medical. Medical is getting $5. And adding 5 to medical, we have $500 in the bank, so that's our placeholder for that. And then 15, so 515 in total for medical. All right, next it is travel. Travel getting $150. So adding that. We all know traveling is a big priority for myself. So I really enjoy that, and I always try to make that a top priority within my budget. So we have 100 and 200, so $200 for travel. Basically, I'm now probably saving up for the wedding, because the wedding is going to be in Puerto Rico. And while you're on vacation, even though it's a wedding, I do anticipate myself spending on things. So saving up for that, and then any other trips that I would possibly want to do in 2024. Just want to get ahead of it. All right, so after travel, last thing we have is our emergency fund. That's going to be getting $250. I did decide to add the money that I did from my savings challenge to my emergency fund, so that's where the bulk of the funds went. So now within my emergency fund, we now have a total of $4,000 in the bank, which is great. And our goal is $6,650. So we are just closer and closer to that. And now we're adding $250. So the total is now $4,250 for the emergency fund, which is great. All right, so that's where we stand with that. Household fund is still at the $3,000 that I have, and I'm just gonna let that $3,000 sit in the bank, and we will get back to the sinking fund when we can. But in terms of the cash stuffing for today, all of the cash is gone, so that will complete that. So again, you guys, I want to thank you so much for watching. If you made it to the end and if you still enjoy the content, definitely let me know down below in the comments and give the video a thumbs up, because that really does help and support the channel. I want to thank you all for being here, supporting, whether it's on YouTube, socials, in the shop. So the gratitude is just never ending, you guys. But enough of me rambling. That's all I have for today's video, and I will catch you all next time in my next one. Bye guys.